So thanks to you, we cracked 1,000 subscribers, and then you gave me another 350 on top of that. So now I'm gonna give back to you. Today, is that the doorbell? It's here. So my new computer has arrived, but today's video is not about my new computer. Today's video is about how you can make your very first gaming YouTube video. But I really want to see what's in this box. So I'm just gonna do that first. I'm gonna do that first. It's so pretty, I just wish I had the rest of the parts. A little empty inside, but seriously, look at the wood. Look at the wood. Steel Legend, Team Red, excited. Anyway, onto the video. Alrighty, you're here because you want to create a gaming YouTube video. Perhaps it's your first, perhaps you're just looking at learning some tips and tricks on how to do it, but this is the place to be. We're looking at three main components of being able to pull this off. We've got our gameplay, we've got our audio, and maybe we've got our video too. Now there's a good chance that this is not going to be a free endeavor. You're probably going to have to spend some money, but maybe you'll have a couple of these items lying around your house already to be able to help you out. Now it's your choice as to whether or not you want to show your face on camera. Faceless YouTube channels are really popular and you can do that. If it is your first time though, recording yourself for YouTube and making a gaming video, then I highly suggest you try it at least once. There's a good chance that you're going to have some sort of camera around the house, whether or not it's your mobile phone or an action camera. Right now you're looking at me on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which is a great camera but is quite expensive. I've made a video on this if you want to check it out. I also have a Bluetooth microphone that's directly attached to the camera, which enhances the audio. But again, this isn't necessary. There are pretty cool little action cameras out there, like the Insta360 Go 3S, which is actually a versatile little camera. Right now, I'm wearing it on my hat. It's actually magnetic. It'll even stick to my case over here. And while something like the Go 3S could be used, you're probably far better off just using a webcam like the one that I have in front of me. This is the Insta360 Link 2C, which is the baby brother of the Insta360 Link 2. The difference between these is, well, the price, but also that this one here is on a gimbal. And while the Link 2 is great, the Link 2C provides the exact same resolution for less money. So it's up to you as to whether or not you need a gimbal, but there's a good chance that you won't. In the end though, there's nothing stopping you from using your mobile phone. The video quality is likely to be good, but you might want to pair it with something like a tripod. Okay, I'm going to share with you a secret. If you have bad audio, people are going to click away from your video. Having clean audio is incredibly important. There's a very good chance that you have something laying around the house that can record pretty decent audio. Whether or not it is a gaming headset that has like a boom mic on it, a work headset like the one that I have on here, or this USB microphone. USB microphones are excellent. Elgato make them. I think there's a Blue Yeti one. There's a whole bunch of different brands available that you can just plug into your computer. The environment you record in is often quite important unless you're using some software to be able to reduce background noise. Something like DaVinci Resolve Studio, which is the pay-for version of the editing software we're using today, does have that feature built in, but there are free alternatives as well. Otherwise, there's a good chance you've got a mobile phone. If you've got a mobile phone, you can record straight into the mobile as well. Again, make sure that the environment you're in is a quiet one. You can always just jump into a cupboard. I know I've done that before. If you want to level up your game or you want a little bit more versatility, then we'll be looking at something like one of these Bluetooth microphones. I have a bunch of these. This is the DJI Mic 2. It is very, very good, but it's also pretty pricey and maybe not something that you'll want to pay for straight away. There is the little brother, the DJI Mic Mini, available to you as well. I did a review on that, and even though I returned that microphone, it was only because it didn't have internal recording, which is something that you're probably not going to need. But there are loads of very affordable Bluetooth microphones out there as well. So that's it for audio. Make sure you get it right. Now, music is an incredibly important part of the video production process, and if you've been enjoying the music that you've heard so far, it's all from Upbeat. I'm not sponsored by these guys, I just really like what I've found from them. Mainly it's the pricing. The pricing is really, really good, especially in comparison to a lot of the other services out there, and there's just tons and tons of music and sound effects. So I strongly suggest you give it a go. And if you've found this video valuable so far, I'd really appreciate if you use my referral link in the description below. It helps me out and it lets me use more music in future videos. So that's pretty cool. Let's get on with it. So if you're a console player and you don't have a capture card, you can record directly to one of these guys. That's an external hard drive, and I'm sure you've got a few of these lying around your house. I'm going to show you how to do this on an Xbox, but the same can be done on a PlayStation. For the Xbox, all you have to do is hit your guide button and head over to the capture and share setting and head down to capture settings. Once capture settings loads up, you'll see that there is a capture save location. Change that from internal storage to whatever you have named your hard drive. In this case, I named my hard drive Series X Record, and then it will pop up with this, telling you that you can now capture for up to 60 minutes, and you hit confirm. And that will go ahead and record 4K footage at 60 frames per second on the Xbox Series X. If you have an Xbox Series S, it's at 1080p. But as I said, you can do it with a PlayStation. You can't do it, however, with a Nintendo Switch. You would need a capture card to be able to do that. Maybe the Switch 2 will change things. Now, one of the downsides of recording console footage is that you're getting gameplay only. You're not going to get audio and video of yourself. You'll have to do that later on in the edit. And that's usually how I do most of my videos. However, on PC, you have another option. We're going to use an application today that's free. It's called OBS Studio. So if you just head over to the OBS Studio website, it's Open Broadcaster Software, if you're wondering, and click on Windows, Mac OS, Linux, whatever you happen to be using, go ahead and download that application. Once you open up the application, it looks like this. It's pretty bare bones sort of stuff. And what we'll need to do is go ahead and add some sources. So in this case, I'll be recording a game called Dave the Diver that I absolutely love. And to do that, I have two ways of being able to approach it. The first way is that I can do a display capture, which means that I'll be displaying, in this case, my primary monitor. And what you'll end up seeing in front of you is just the application itself. Now, I don't really recommend using display capture as it takes up a lot of system resources. So what I suggest you use instead is game capture. Game capture allows you to be able to pick a specific window. In this case, we're going to be picking Dave the Diver and hitting OK. And from there, you'll see that the Dave the Diver footage is in front of you, which is great. Now, if you want to be able to include video of yourself, you could record yourself later, which we will cover again shortly. Or alternatively, you could go ahead and get a video capture device. As I said before, we're going to go ahead and use the Insta360 Link 2C. Here I am in front of you. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to go ahead and minimize myself and drag myself down into the bottom right hand corner. If you can't see yourself, it's either because you have hit the little I button here, which hides you, or alternatively, you've put it below the game capture. So you want to have your video capture at the top, or in this case, I'll drag down the game capture below. There are a couple of other cool things you can do. You can go ahead and set a filter on your video capture device. So you can go ahead and maybe crop it in a little bit. If we just head down to crop pad and add that, I could then perhaps add maybe 500 to the left, 500 to the right, and that tightens it up a little bit. You're not taking up as much game real estate there. And then again, I can make myself a little bit smaller. If you're curious as to why some people don't have any backgrounds at all, they're either using software to be able to do it, or alternatively, you're using a green screen, which I've used in a bunch of my recent videos. The other part that you want to do is go ahead and add an audio input capture. If you are going to be using your webcam's audio, or whatever camera you happen to have connected to your computer, then you'll need to go ahead and select that like so. And as you can see, we've got an audio input capture there. So if I stop talking, the line drops. If I start talking, the line goes up. That's a way that you know that you've got it set up correctly. Another quick thing that you might want to check is heading over to settings and then head over to output. Output is what your video file is going to eventually output to. And then you will want to go down and have a look at your audio tracks. So you can see I only have 1 and 2 selected here. Usually when you open up OBS, all of these are ticked. Just tick the amount of audio tracks that you're going to use. So in this case, we've got an audio track for the game, and we're also going to have an audio track for the microphone. I hit apply, I hit OK. I'm now going to head down to the audio mixer. And from there, what I want to make sure that I have is that my tracks are set correctly. So in this case, I want to make sure that I've got my desktop audio, which is my game audio in this case. I want to have that ticked. And then I want to go ahead and untick on the audio input capture, everything except for 2. So we've got desktop audio as 1, we've got microphone audio as 2. It may also pick up the internal mic on your laptop if you're using one. On your desktop, probably not. Don't worry so much about that. Just have that unticked. You can remove it entirely as well. So audio input capture, desktop audio, 1 and 2, we're going to get 2 audio files. What this does is it gives us more options during the edit where you have your game file and your voice file separate. You can play around a little bit more. For example, if there was a big explosion in the game, it might overshadow what you're trying to say. So you might want to dial that down a little bit to be able to even things out. I have not started recording as of yet. Obviously, I'm recording for you, but I have not started recording my gameplay footage. So I'm now going to go ahead and hit start recording. Hey everyone, today we're going to dive back into some Dave the Diver, recording myself on OBS here. I've got the new Insta360 Blink 2C recording me as well. So let me know what you think of that footage. Okay guys, we're on the home stretch. We're going to be editing some gaming footage in DaVinci Resolve. There's two versions of DaVinci Resolve. There's DaVinci Resolve free, then there is DaVinci Resolve Studio. I myself have the Studio version. It's a one-time fee to be able to use it, but when you're starting out, DaVinci Resolve free is more than enough. Now, when you first open up DaVinci Resolve, you'll be presented with a project library and then an untitled project. From there, you're just going to need to transfer your footage from something like your external hard drive over into the project itself. So you can see I've got some footage here of Monster Hunter Wilds, which I was recording earlier. We're just going to double click on that project and away you go. Now down the bottom here, we have a whole bunch of different options here, from all the way from media to deliver. There's only two of them that I really want you to worry about for this short tutorial, and that is the edit tab and the deliver tab. So we're going to start with the edit tab, and we're just going to bring in our footage. Maybe you've recorded stuff on your PC, maybe you've recorded stuff on a console, like on the Xbox Series X, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to drag that straight over here into the media pool. That pops up there, and we've got our 4 clips. They're sequential, so from the first video that I recorded to the last video, and usually that's how you're going to want to edit. When I go ahead and drag something here onto the timeline, you can see that it appears like so, and we've got here our video clip in blue and our audio clip in green. Now, anywhere you see these little white waves down the bottom, that's where your audio is going to be. You can hear the audio for the game. I can turn the audio up if I like, increasing the volume, and I can also do the same by turning it down. There's a little line here. You can see there's a little up arrow, a little down arrow, and that just adjusts it like so. You can also make adjustments up in the audio section here. If you don't have this section here with volume or transform or anything like that, it's because the inspector is turned off. So see how I've hit that, it's disappeared, hit it again, it's come back. Pretty straightforward. I'm gonna press pause now because that's starting to get a little annoying. If you are working on a video and it is a little too loud, you can head over to the dim option there, and that'll reduce the volume for you to help you with your edit. So we've got our footage there. This is the first clip on the timeline. I've got 3 other clips that I want as well. So I'm going to go ahead and select all 3 of those clips, drag them onto the timeline, move them around like so, and they snap into place. Now, if your clips are not snapping into place, you just have to go ahead and hit this snapping tool here, which is also the shortcut key N on Windows. I have no idea. I don't know anything about Mac. Don't ask me about Mac. The audio and the video clips are both linked with one another. So when I'm highlighting one, they're both moving around together. But as I said, the snapping tool will snap them into place as well. So if this is your first time starting out, I want you to just grab a couple of different gameplay clips, throw them on a timeline, and then essentially we're just going to start chopping them up. Right now I'm pressing play, and I do that by pressing spacebar on my keyboard, and I want to find a point where I want my video to start. So this looks like a good point. Isn't that nice? Little transition there on the coffee. So I would go somewhere around this point here, and then I'd head over here to the blade edit mode. That's B on your keyboard. And you're just going to chop right on that red line there. And essentially what that's done is it has split this clip and this clip. They're still part of the same file, but it split them in half. If I head back over here to selection mode, which is A on the keyboard, I'm going to press A. I can grab this and I can move it away. If I can even go over the top of existing footage if I want, but I'm going to lose that, so we're not going to do that. So we're going to pop that there, and that's snapped right into place, hasn't it? So that's snapped into place because of the snapping tool. If this is off, then essentially nothing really snaps in place. It kind of just doesn't sit really nicely. As you approach it, it sort of blends into it. With the snapping tool, you can move it around like so, and then as you get close to another file, it sort of just boop, snaps into place, hence the name. So let's just press Control Z there. If you've used a word processor before, Control Z will undo what you've done. And so we've got those files split up. Now I don't care about anything before this coffee cup, so I want to get rid of it. Anything that is highlighted red means that that's the clip that you've selected, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit backspace. And now we've got negative space. So if I start the video from this point, and I just press play, nothing's going to happen until it eventually hits that coffee cup. So we want to get rid of that negative space, and we do that by highlighting it and then pressing backspace once again. And now our clip will start from roughly around where I wanted it to. Now there are a few different ways you can handle an edit. You could go ahead and just chop up all of your gaming footage right now and then do a voiceover over the top. You don't even have to include video, or alternatively you could record something first. You could script it potentially and then add your gaming footage afterwards, or what we would refer to as A-roll, me talking, and then B-roll, the gaming footage itself. It's entirely up to you. I highly recommend experimenting with both. Okay, here we are with the final edit. These are just my 4 clips chopped up into teeny tiny pieces to be able to tell a coherent story, or in this case, a tutorial for capturing this little sand star. You can see me in the bottom right-hand corner now inside that little circle. You don't even need to be able to put yourself inside a frame. But I like to use a green screen. I'm not suggesting you go out and buy one, but I do want to show you exactly how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And right behind me here, we have a retractable green screen. Now, you don't have to buy one of these. In fact, I strongly suggest that you don't when you're first starting out. But as you progress along, it's something that you might want to introduce into your video editing arsenal. There is one problem though. It's lighting. You cannot use a green screen with all these shadows behind you. So I need to go ahead and turn on the lights, turn off this mood lighting that we've got going on here and turn on the real deal. Give me 2 seconds to go and do that. So there we go. Not perfect, but probably going to be good enough for me to be able to edit. So let's go ahead and do that. In a little over a minute, I'm going to show you exactly how to capture the elusive sand star in Monster Hunter Wilds. Okay, so as you can see, I've recorded my footage with the green screen behind me, but that is not the final product. What we want to do next is we want to apply an effect called a 3D keyer. Now, I haven't shown you much in the way of effects at the moment because it's not really necessary when you're making your first video, but we're already here and I've decided that I'm going to use a 3D keyer, so let's go ahead and do it. You just hit the effects button up here in the top, and then from there, you simply go ahead and type in 3D. Make sure that you are on the appropriate transition. Which I believe is effects. No, wrong. Open effects, there it is. Head over to open effects, type in 3D, you'll see 3D keyer. And you're just dragging that effect straight on top of your footage here, which is now active. And then really all it is a case of going to this little button over here. You can see this little drop down menu here, going to open effects overlay, which means that we're now be able to see the effects that we're applying. And then up here in effects, which is in the inspector that I showed you before, video, audio, effects, the 3D keyer appears. You can turn it on and off, but it's not going to do anything because we haven't done anything yet. So you're going to go to add, click on add, and then you're just going to draw. Just going to draw right around him. Look at it. We want to add a draw, and we want to get rid of all of that white that is not me. And then what you'll end up with is something that looks like this. So the next thing that we want to do is go ahead and crop the whole thing up. So where you were before, the little drop down menu here, just head to crop instead. And then you want to just drag these little lines across like so until we're just including the green screen and myself. That's looking a lot better. We're almost there. You can see there's a bit of green around me. It doesn't look so great, does it? What we can do over here is head back to the effects section here. We can see despill, max that out. There are a few other things you can do if your lighting is not great with a green screen, but despill fixes most of that. So we're going to go ahead and zoom back out, and then we're going to go back here again, same section where it says crop. I'm going to change it over to transform, and now we can start to move me around, pop me in the bottom right-hand corner. Now, what I strongly suggest is that you record all of your footage first, not just recording this single piece of footage here, like so, and then applying your effects right at the end, because effects do really make your system chug. Struggle, slow down. And so you want to be able to get all of your recordings, everything edited first, and then you want to go ahead and apply your effects afterwards. Speaking of effects, I did actually apply a transition, which I wanted to show you. So if I just go ahead and press play from around this point, running towards the tempered Balahara. You see that? There's a little flame effect that just went by there. That's one of the cool effects that's in the studio version. To show you exactly how I did that, I'm just going to delete the effect just to show you what it looks like without it first. Towards the tempered Balahara. And you will find that it'll slow down a little bit if you've got a lot of effects on. So you heard that sort of warbling noise as I was transitioning. That won't be in the final product. But anyway, we're going to go over here to video transitions. And then there's so many different transitions that you can apply. And this is one of the cool things about DaVinci Resolve, unlike something like Premiere Pro. The effects are all sort of built in. You don't have to go out and buy any. The effect I chose was burn away. So you can actually see the effect in play here. If we just, which looks cool. I think that's only part of Studio. I mean, you can do all sorts of stuff. You could do like what's a box twist? What have we got? Block glitch. You could do block glitch. Why not? You just drag it over there. It's just drag and drop. You know how to do this. You go ahead there, and then it just sort of does a little glitch effect there. But as you can see, it's coming along. I now just need to go ahead and record the rest of my lines and then include the rest of my footage. So I'm now going to go ahead and do that behind the scenes, and then we'll take another quick look at where we're at. Okay, now it's all really starting to come together. You can see on video 2, you've got all the clips of me, and I'm jumping all around over here. And then you've got my audio file in audio 2. And then for the gameplay footage, we've got that in video 1 and in audio 1. Really, that's all you need to do. You don't actually have to add transitions the first time that you're doing this. And you certainly don't need to go ahead and use a green screen, although I have opted to, and you'll see that obviously in the final product. But really, that's the end of it. Now, we could call it on this video, we could go ahead and deliver it, but there's a very good chance that your audio is not on point. If you remember what I said earlier, audio is often more important than video. If you have bad audio, they're going to leave. If you have bad video, it can usually be forgiven as long as they can understand you. So one thing that we're going to want to do here is normalize our audio. Now, I want to show you what happens if you don't start making edits to your audio. As you can see here, my voice is quite loud due to those waveforms I showed you earlier. But if I was to turn up the game volume, right? This is not normalized, and I will explain normalizing in just a second. I hit play. As you run in the direction of the template Balahara, you should notice a flying bird above you. The sound from the game overpowers my voice. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just turn down the volume on the game. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you what the footage originally looked like. My voice audio would have been around that point. So again, if I go ahead and play, how to capture the elusive sand star. It's too quiet. This is the number 1 tip I'm going to show you. Well, I've probably said that this is the number 1 tip a few times. This is a great tip. See what happens when I right click on the audio here and I go over to normalize audio levels. There's a drop down box. It's probably going to start off with sample peak program. Scroll down to YouTube and hit normalize and watch what happens just here. As soon as I do that, it normalizes the audio. And you want to do that across all your clips. So you can just go ahead and highlight all of the clips of you talking, right click, and hit normalize audio levels. 2 versions there when you've got this many files. You've got relative and independent. Independent means it does each one by themselves. Relative, it means it tries to match them as close as one another to the rest of your clips. And then you would just go ahead and hit normalize, and it will just run through the entire video, ensuring that all of your clips are set to the right audio level, which is, as I said, important. Okay, we've got all our footage put together. We are now ready to deliver. We go over to the Deliver tab. And there it is. There is your work. There are going to be a whole bunch of options up the top. I suggest when you're starting out, just head over to YouTube and export it based off the resolution you want. So in this case, this is a 4K file. And if you recall earlier, I actually changed the timeline to 1080p to make it easier to edit. So now is a great opportunity for you to hit that Shift 9 button once again, go over to your timeline resolution and boost it back up to 4K, if that's what it was at before. All right, we brought back a bit of that mood lighting. That is it for this video. Obviously, I could go into a lot more detail, but for the moment, I think that this is a great starting point for you to create your first gaming video on YouTube. And if you like videos about gaming and tech that get to the point, this one was probably a little bit long, I think. But if you do like gaming and tech videos that get to the point, then this is the place to be. Right after this video, I'm gonna release my Monster Hunter video that I edited here in front of you. So I want you to check that out to see what the finished product is. I've got a load of other gaming videos available for you as well. As I said, there's that 45-minute tutorial on DaVinci Resolve that's totally worth checking out. Thank you once again for helping me get over 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to continue to make videos like this and my shorter gaming videos as well. I hope that you enjoy them. And that's it really. If you haven't liked and subscribed at this point, but you have stuck it out until the end of it, it's probably a good indication that you do like something about it. And it's probably worth a subscribe too if you want to see more content like this. I'm going to stop talking now because I've been talking for a long time. It's nighttime outside. And I'm going to let you get back to it. But Daniel, if you're watching, and I know there are many Daniels out there, I think it's your turn to like and subscribe, my friend. So you get that done, Daniel. And I'm going to finish this video. I'm going to deliver it and move on with my life.